My name is Santa Ono, and I am privileged to serve as the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of British Columbia. Please join us in the singing of our national anthem, O Canada, Canada, led by our University Marshal, Nancy Hermiston, Director of the Opera and Voice Program at the UBC School of Music. Graduates, please remove your caps. Thank you, Professor Hermiston. We pause for a moment to give thanks, spiritual and temporal, for the manifold blessings we share in this wonderful world, this great nation, this beautiful province, this splendid university. And we respectfully acknowledge the Syilx Okanagan Nation and their peoples, in whose territory we stand now and are gathered today. We give thanks to these proud students, their even prouder friends and family on this most happy of occasions. Please be seated. Chancellor Gordon, honored guests, members of the Board of Governors, the Okanagan Senate, faculty members, staff, alumni, and most especially you, our graduates, family, and friends, welcome to this 2018 Convocation ceremony. What an honor it is for me to be with you today and for all of us to celebrate your accomplishments culminating on this graduation day. Let us all, at this inception of the ceremony, give the class of 2018 our first of many rounds of applause. Graduates, are you ready for your graduation ceremony? Parents and grandparents and siblings and friends, are you excited to see your graduates graduate today? Well, let's have some fun. I can tell you this is one of the best parts of our jobs. We look forward to this throughout the entire academic year. This is one of the most joyous, momentous occasions at any university, and this day is all about you. It's all about what you've achieved through hard work, determination, inspiration, and let's face it, grit. You have worked very hard at one of the world's greatest institutions. It is a challenging thing just to get here, to get a seat where you are seated right now, but actually completing the very rigorous studies is really quite the accomplishment. Wouldn't you agree, moms and dads? Quite an accomplishment. Let's hear it for them. And graduates, wouldn't you say, or don't you know? I mean, I'll tell you that I have 2 teenage girls, and they are not always proud to be with me. They're embarrassed about me every now and then. But around this time, this age, in your early 20s, most of you are in your early 20s or older, you start to appreciate them, right? They were with you every step of the way, and in addition to that, they were with you even before your very first step. Do you appreciate your parents? Graduation is a time to reflect on where you've been. It's also a time to imagine your future and the world to come. The world is your oyster, as they say. That's a really funny saying, right? But it really is. And when you think about the road ahead, you may gain perspective by looking back where you've been. And we hope that when you do look back to your time at UBC, that you'll look back with fondness. You'll remember all the friendships that you've made. Remember the moments and hopefully all those mind-expanding classes that these professors gave you. Let's hear it for the faculty members of this university. And we hope that when you look into the future, that UBC, this campus, and your friends and your professors will be very much part of your future as well. Know that you are welcome here all the time, and we look forward to hearing from you about your personal and professional achievements as you build upon the foundation provided to you by your UBC degree, but also the totality of the experiences that you have here. And know that we want to continue to engage with you from this day forward. Just because you graduate doesn't mean that our relationship ends. We have one of the great alumni associations in Alumni UBC. We have about 325,000 alumni around the world, and we go to distant parts of the world to interact with all of our graduates. And I hope wherever you go, that you'll commit to coming back to our events so that we can tell you about what's happening at your alma mater. As you begin this new chapter of your life, have absolute confidence that each of us on this stage, all of the faculty members here, that we have absolute confidence in you. And we know that you can and that you will make a difference, because if you compare yourselves to those who've gone before you, even those who've gone before you just 1 year ago, I can tell you there are graduates from UBCO that are really making a difference in every sector of human endeavor. Some of them have been working with the Prime Minister. Some of them actually have been working with NGOs. Some of them are pursuing graduate degrees in the most esteemed institutions of higher education globally. They have gone before you, and we have absolutely no doubt that you will do the same. At the founding of this university in 1916, the university's first president and vice chancellor, Frank Westbrook, encouraged that first graduating class of about 40 students. He encouraged them to aim high, to think broadly about the impact they could leave to the world, the legacy that they could leave to the world. He encouraged those first 40 students to reach for the stars, to aim through their work and through all their actions to make the world a better place in which to live, not only for themselves, but also for people that they might not even meet around the globe. And those graduates did not disappoint. 3 of them would go on to be Rhodes Scholars. Several of them became internationally renowned scholars in multiple fields, and many of them became iconic figures in government and in business. And we believe that you can do exactly the same. 102 years later, we echo those remarks. Because of our confidence and our belief in you, we believe each and every one of you has the capacity and skill to succeed and to make the world a better place in your own individual, unique ways. The most important thing to focus on, which I say to every student that I meet, is to become the best version of yourself that you can be. There's no single path. There's no single career where you can actually have an impact. So follow your passion, follow your heart, and in doing so, you can make your own unique contribution to humanity. The other message we have for you is that this graduation is not about goodbye. It's about au revoir, until we meet again. As I said, one of the privileges that I have, and the deans and faculty members have, is to meet with you in the neighborhood grocery store or on the streets of Toronto or in Halifax. You don't know when we'll meet again, but we look forward to that moment, and we look forward to following and celebrating your progress and your achievements well into the future. The last thing I want you to leave you with is just thinking a little bit about the motto of this institution. And you know that these are words that were uttered by President Frank Westbrook at the inception of this university. And those words are tu em est. And those are words that only UBC graduates would really think about. It's really very, very unique to this institution. And we talked to you about tu em est when you first arrived. And we think it's fitting for us to end with a short discussion about tu em est. Well, tu em est has two definitions. One of them is very, very apropos for today. And that is, it is yours. So if you think about your experience here, your time here, the things that you're going to remember, the memories that are going to become sweeter with time, it is yours. They are your memories. The degree, the education, the knowledge, the skills, the transformation that has occurred in your life, those are all yours. As is the diploma that we hope that you will frame and hang with pride in your home or in your office for decades to come. It's yours. But that definition of tu em est is very inwardly looking. The second definition of tu em est that we want you to think about is it's up to you. Now, one of the things you may have forgotten is that it's not easy to be accepted to the University of British Columbia. It's even harder to finish with your curriculum and to be seated where you are today. And it's something that, if you really think about it, is a gift. It's a recognition of your gifts. It is something that you should all cherish. Some of you may take it for granted, but believe me, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of people that would love to be in your place today, to be able to say that you are graduating from one of the great universities in the world. So, with those gifts, with those benefits, with that privilege, I think comes responsibility. And therein lies the second meaning of tu em est. It's up to you. It's up to you what you do with your knowledge, with your education. It's up to you to decide how you mobilize that, how you utilize the respect in which you will be held because you are a graduate. It's up to you to decide how you can use that not to better your own life, but how you can make the world a better place, how you can make humanity better. Because I can tell you, as I get older, it's not about how much money you have. It's not about how many different jobs you've received. It's not about awards, pieces of beautiful looking crystal. None of that really matters. The most profound feeling of joy, believe me, that you will ever feel is touching and having a positive impact on someone else. And it's especially profound when you have a positive impact on those who are less fortunate than you are. Therein lies the responsibility that comes with the privilege that you have. You know, you've all been transformed by your time here at the University of British Columbia. You may not recognize it, but I tell you, your parents recognize it, your grandparents recognize it. They remember when you were trying to take your first step. Look at you today. It's almost miraculous. Wouldn't you say, parents? Isn't it? It's almost miraculous, isn't it? And you've been transformed in different ways. One is your minds have expanded, not physically, but you've had an education of the mind. You know a lot of facts. You know, you've read a lot of things. You can write much better than you could just 4 or 5 years ago. You've had an education of the mind. And that's something to cherish, something to be proud of. But you've been transformed in a different way. And your parents and your grandparents, they'll acknowledge this as well. You've changed a lot in terms of your values. They've become more solid. You've learned and developed those values from your peers, from your faculty members, through your experiences. It's a different kind of an education. It's not an education of the mind. It's the kind of education that you draw upon when you're faced with those very difficult decisions. You've seen your parents and your grandparents and others, and maybe some of you struggle with those difficult decisions. It's at that moment that it's not your IQ, it's your EQ that's going to matter. And that kind of education I call the education of the heart. And I want you to remember that kind of education, that kind of transformation has occurred in you while you have been here, and to think about that when the difficult moments arise, and they will. So here's the thing, never forget, knowledge is in the head, but true wisdom is in the heart. Whenever you're not sure, follow your heart, and you will be guided in the right direction. We are proud of you. We will miss you. Remain in touch. Congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name's Deborah Buzzard. I have the privilege and the pleasure of being the Deputy Vice Chancellor and Principal of the Okanagan campus of UBC. I want to offer my congratulations to the graduating class of 2018. Your day today is a recognition of all of the hard work and the persistence that you have shown over the last few years, and your ability to take in and embrace all of these new experiences and ideas, and to acquire skills and habits over the last 4 years that you'll take with you with your disciplinary degree. And they'll serve you very, very well. Now, UBC isn't just, though, about skills and habits, and it's not just demonstrating your qualifications for a job. More importantly, it prepares you to live a thoughtful life, a life of the mind, one of perception, insight, and rationality. It gives you the intellectual tools to flourish wherever you may go. As I look out at you, our graduating class, I'm struck by your collective power as a force for positive change in the world. And there is indeed much to be done. Locally and globally, there are challenges and uncertainty, and at the same time, the emergence of extraordinary new opportunities and technologies that are set to reshape our world in ways that we cannot even imagine today. And this is where you go out into the world. As UBC grads, we know you have the intellectual tools necessary to take on the challenges and to embrace those opportunities. And what's more, we know that you're willing to step up to do that. In your time here at UBC, you've already proven yourselves as change agents in many, many ways. And in fact, you've played an enormous role in shaping the future of this campus and the future for students who study here. And I want to talk about something very specific that you have done. Most of you were here back in 2014. And that was the time when the Students' Union held a referendum. And the question was, would you support an additional small fee to pay for the construction of expanded library and study space? You may remember there was a campaign, More Library. And I'm sure you all know and have experienced in your time here at UBC how far too small our library is. There are actually lineups for a seat in the library. But in 2014, you voted overwhelmingly in favor in a referendum to pay this extra fee to build a library that you probably realized back then you would never study in. You would never go to a class in that library. You'd never have a study group. You won't have the joy of being in that space. But you voted to do it. And today, as you've come back on campus, perhaps after being away for a couple of weeks or so, you can see that remarkable, beautiful new building that's taking shape, that's been built with the gift of your donation to create a new library. We're calling it the Commons, the open space. Yours is the last class of students who will have paid for that, but not have had the opportunity to use it. I'm sorry. Your gift, though, is truly, truly significant. And you really have, as people say, paid it forward. You had the foresight and the generosity to set yourselves up to contribute to that, to make the world and the campus a better place for future generations of students. And I'd like everyone to show a demonstration of gratitude and say thank you for what you have given us and what you've created. Thanks for your generosity. Echoing the words of the President, this isn't goodbye, it's au revoir. And as you leave here, we hope that you'll always feel welcome to come back. And there's another first happening this year at UBC Okanagan, and that's our first ever homecoming. Homecoming is an excuse for the grads to come back, meet your classmates, and see what's happening on campus. We're having our very first in October. You will be receiving an invitation, and it'll be an opportunity to take a tour of the library. And you won't need to study. It'll be awesome. Never before has a graduating class gone out into a world where such sweeping changes are anticipated, from the very nature of what work will be, to geopolitics, environmental change, and our ability to understand and communicate with people around the world. Change is everywhere, but we are absolutely confident of your capacity to not just cope, but to thrive and to make a positive contribution in that environment. You have the brightest of futures. We've seen already what you can do here on campus, and we have no doubt that you will do it outside in the world. What does it mean to be a great university? People talk about, this is a great university. How do universities have their impact in the world? The largest way that we do is through you, our alumni. You are the way. You are the way that UBC has impact in the world. So you will continue to make this university greater as you go out and make your contributions. So on behalf of the university and all of us here on the Okanagan campus, congratulations. I wish you every success. You'll be brilliant. Congratulations to the class of 2018. And now I'm pleased to call on Carly Mills, a member of the graduating class, to make her remarks. Carly.
Thank you, Dr. Buzzard. Please bear with me, I've only practiced in front of my cat. Mr. Chancellor, honored guests, and fellow graduates. I just want to start off by saying congratulations, we did it. On behalf of Alumni UBC, I am honored to welcome you into the alumni family. You now belong to a community of change makers and leaders that is more than 325,000 strong. Graduates like you who are looking to make a positive difference in the world. Remember to visit the alumni welcome tent after our ceremony and see what it means to be a new member of the alumni family. Now, I would like to be candid with all of you. When I found out I was giving this speech, the first thing that came to my mind was that I wanted to make my graduation class proud. Proud that I am standing here today speaking for you and to you. I wish I could use my speech to empower, inspire, and advise you all. But the truth is, I am just as anxious and unsure of the future as most of you are. Personally speaking, although I have plans for my future, university has taught me that plans change and ultimately we change, just as we have changed during our years at UBC. We have been deprived of sleep, pushed to our intellectual limits, forced to face failures and learn from them. However, that course you didn't think you could pass, that concept we didn't understand, that paper we had no clue how to write, we did it, we're here. Facing and conquering these challenges has made us different people, the kind of people UBC is proud to release into the world. The people who learn from challenges and who are open to failure, who yearn for success and crave knowledge. People who do not simply want to exist in the world, but want to change it. I want to thank our professors, tutors, TAs, families, and friends who have been with us through these challenges and have assisted and allowed us to grow into the people who stand before you today, ready for the next change. Finally, thank you to my graduating class for creating a community I have thoroughly enjoyed for the past 4 years. We are forever bonded through our shared struggles, such as having to walk to a class on third floor arts. I do not know all of you, but I do know that I am surrounded by inspiring and inspired individuals. I don't like the phrase, you can do anything you put your mind to, because I think it's a tad illogical and cliche. But standing here today, looking back at what we have accomplished as the graduates of UBCO's 2018 class, it sure does feel like we could do anything. Thank you, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you, Carly. Will the candidates for degrees please rise? That's you. Mr. Chancellor. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting the candidates for degrees who have successfully completed their studies and fulfilled the conditions that the university has set for them. The Okanagan Senate of this university recommends them to you for the degrees that will be announced by a representative of the faculties. As each degree is officially conferred, the Dean of the Faculty, and in the case of graduate students, the Dean of the College of Graduate Studies, will congratulate the student. Sadif Katabi and Shira Sneg, members of the alumni community, will welcome each student into the Alumni Association and present them with an alumni handbook. The candidates will please be seated.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidate for the degree Doctor of Philosophy, Dr. Shirley May Gallon Hutchinson. Dr. Hutchinson examined the inevitability of death. Grounded in terror management theory, she studied the derogation of others, one of the ways humans deal with death-related anxiety. This research contributes to a better understanding of the mechanism behind human behavior in the face of death. Dr. Hutchinson. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Master of Arts. Catherine Barbara Rose.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidate for the degree Master of Arts, Francesca Anna Louise Jimson. Brittany Rhodes. Samuel Peter Hiles.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Serena Alexis Torres. Priscilla Babunga. Kai Floyd Duknich. Michael Flood. Tiziano Gennari. Jesse Louis Kutcher. Melissa Morphy. Winter Pazantawach. Sadiq Shamji. Joshua Toffel. Nimai Trivedi. Rob Velzeboer. Nisha Banga. Tyler Bose Roberts. Ashley Brooke Nenashef. Kaylee Stathopoulos. Lawrence Watt. Karina Alejandra Rosero Bustos. Alisa Galacho. Buddy Mix. Ajit Sin Brar. Connor Patrick Seamus O'Reilly. Jordan Wesley Britnell. Audra Davis. Jessica Dawn Hansen. Margaret Kate Ingram. Larissa Just. Joseph Lanaway. Kristen Valerie Piers. Thank you. Michelle Schroth. Chelsea Lynn Tingley Weisgerber. Juan Pei Michelle Poe. Skylar Schmidtke. Jacqueline Abernathy. Serena Janice Ambler. Amanda Annette. Audrey Baker. Brittany Nicole Belcher. Michelle Beliveau. Danielle Boning. Emily Rose Bontho. Sierra Nicole Bray. Shantea Brooks. Eileen Chan. Wing Yu Chung. Eric Chu. Stephanie Coleman. Janessa Sophia Mary Collins. Aviria Dabangi. Risha Leira Lare Anais Dickey. Pardon me. Erin Alyssa Fowler. Alexander Hartwell. Maya Hanma. Yun Ting Huang. Jun Huang. Amanda Jeanette Yider. Christina Maya Karam. Noel Ariel Kogan. Tyler Kopp. Sydney Catherine Lekai. Emily Lewis. Bria Liegman. Chen Liu. Tish Violet Lovely. Alexandra Katerina Meland. Angela Diane Meyer. Martha Miguel Juan. Amanda Morazane. Louise Morat Egener. Bree Naka. Nicole Paradis. JC Lee Payette. Lauren Richards. Jaspreet Kaur Saran. Caitlin Shrama. Krista Seifert. Jasveen Kaur Sidhu. Alyssa Mariko Smith. Thanaporn Srivarjmani. Tony Sim. Mackenzie Van Dyke. Fate Jasmine Verrigan. Louis Wang. Sarah Watts. Paige Ann Webster. Leo Yang. Annie Young. Veronica Zarnock. Kia Reed. Jessica Suto. Brittany Lauren Fedorak. Kyla Ann Morris. Emily Andrews. Tin Wei Young. Carly Bowen. Sarah Desrosiers. Claudia Jane Lum. Catherine Louise Peterson. James Brandon Philip Sunga. Kelsey Linda DeRoche. Did I just screw that up? I just screwed that up. Janelle Croft. Oops. Hannah Gatsby. Evangel Lee. Nicole Richardson. Courtney Maureen Dueck. Melissa Ann Watchorn. Annalisa Sophia Wienert. Marianne Shirley Campbell. Kendra Ann Collingwood. Rebecca Fideli. Jessica Henke. Amy Catherine Hill. Senna Kokabas. Marissa Lynn Lindholm. Janessa May. Corey Joan Nikolai. Caitlin Sulentich. Emily Atamanchuk. Carly Karen Corrado. Ryan Christopher Crawford. Shannon Marilyn Lindsay Dockman. Elizabeth Ford. Ranveer Guraya. Kajal Kiran. Tamara Rain. Madison Ray Jean Tomko. Lucas Sherry. Ada Apaswamy. Francesca Iriola. Shu Ki Wen. Victoria Phillips. Amin Shahi. Erica Faye Thompson. Ria Verk. Devin Louise Brown. Joel Kipp. Jasmine Somal. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science. Siobhan Kaylee Fitzpatrick. Nina Honor Dyson Gregoire. May Lee. Breon McWilliams. Leah Sorgi. Ali Tavakali. Kayla Dawn Bazana. Eric Wandinger. Anastasia Skobkariva. Kendra Arthurs. Johnson Hung Chen. Tarnjeet Kaur Dinza. Juachi Dozie. Elizabeth Catherine Dunlop. Shawnee Fair. Cassidy Fleming. Naz Grywal. Yara Zakaria Hamed. Amal Hassan. Christina Holcher. Brittany Hunt. Sugdeep Kaur Lali. Sarah Mahmoodi. Kara Major. Alexa Nelson. Annalise Newiduk. Kathy Maria Parapilli. Grant Edward Regier, or Regier, pardon me. Jessica Brenda Doiron. Victoria Goyer. Sierra Petco. Manveer Kaur Shergill.
Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you more candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts. Emma Diana Richard. Sophia Florence Stewart. Lily Lee. Ashley Hayes. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the University of British Columbia Medal in Arts, head of the graduating class, Safira Jaffer. Kaylin Fountain. Laura Jillian Hardy Legault. Nathan Malcolmson. Okay, Darren Patterson. Dana Penny. Back up. Laura Marie Allison Savoy. Erica Page Verigen. Erwin Young. Jillian Catherine Harding. Brianne Heathwood. Rylan Clausen. Kaylee Lampard. Isaac Sunil Massey. Carly Anita Margaret Mills. Nicole Michelle Moore. Abby Greenoff. Kendra Langrish. Holly Ferris. Letitia Denise Bazran. Courtney B. Zacharias. Kimberly Girk. Ashley Madsen. Cassandra Mellon. Travis Christian Barr. Robin Lee Jolie. Tara Christie Melia. Christy Lee. Jenica Naomi McKenzie. Genevieve Sydney Egger. Matthew Tran. Jolene Hayter. Randy Grice. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Fine Arts. Baba Lua Oyedele. Ting Ting New. Hi. Welcome. Shauna Marion Clark Tenjamin. Mr. Chancellor, I have the pleasure of presenting to you the University of British Columbia Medal in Fine Arts and Head of Graduating Class, Sarah Kate Ellis. Melanie Greenlee. Cassandra Hawkart. Jill Janvier. Keegan Lloyd Call. Sarah Elizabeth Kapp. Naomi Lee. Kara Sikora. Emily Stubbs. Yutorn Ye. Alicia Dick. Brooklyn Grace Belmont. Arden Maria Boehm. Matthew Glenn. Julianne Mice. Victoria Moore. And Shayla Ritchie.
For those graduates who've just crossed the stage today, as well as for those graduates who were unable to make today's ceremony, I hereby admit you to the Convocation of UBC. Congratulations. As Chancellor, it's been my pleasure to officiate over today's ceremonies. You've invested a huge amount of time, hard work, determination, perseverance to reach this milestone in your life, your graduation. You've had a lot of support along the way, of course, and many of those supporters are in this hall today, your family, your friends, your peers. So this would be a great moment, I think, to turn around and show your appreciation to all those who've supported you. Let's give them a huge round of applause. And how about another huge round of applause for the faculty on stage? So having crossed this stage today, you are now members of the Convocation of UBC, and you are in good company. Since UBC first began granting degrees in 1916, generations of students have crossed the stage, just like this one, to receive their degrees, and they've gone on to help build our society and shape our community. As alumni, your relationship with UBC is beginning anew, and you can maintain your voice in the affairs of the university through your elected members of Senate, by perhaps mentoring one of today's students, or by participating in one of the many volunteer activities that UBC hosts both here at home and abroad. And as lifelong learners, you will always be welcome to come back here to take a course or two. You might want to take a short break before you do that, but you will always be welcome to come back. And I do encourage you to be a part and remain a part of this great institution, because you still have much to offer UBC, just as UBC still has much to offer you. So tuam est, congratulations once again, and please be seated.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our Chancellor Lindsay Gordon for presiding over this ceremony, and also our President Santa Ono for joining us all for this important celebration. Let's give them a round of applause. Now I have to take a moment to do something that is a little sad for me and for UBC Okanagan, and that is a moment to acknowledge Professor Wisdom Tete, Dean of the Irving K. Barber School of Arts and Sciences. This is Wisdom's last ceremony at UBC before taking up his exciting new role at the University of Toronto as Vice President and Principal of that university's Scarborough campus. Wisdom joined UBC Okanagan in 2011 as Dean of the Faculty of Creative and Critical Studies, before becoming Dean of the Barber School in 2015. Over the last 7 years, Wisdom has been an incredibly important contributor to our academic community and a driving force behind the development of both faculties. Wisdom has worked tirelessly for the benefit of this campus and as a bridge between the two UBC campuses, and he has consistently demonstrated a personal style of leadership based on integrity and sound principles. We will miss him enormously at UBC, but we wish him the very best in his next adventure at the U of T Scarborough campus. Please join me in thanking him for his service here at UBC. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings our ceremony almost to a close. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you've all enjoyed it as much as I have, and that all of you are able to join us for refreshments, which will be served immediately after the ceremony in the courtyard at the alumni tent. We request that guests remain in their places until the academic procession have left the building. But before we begin the procession, we have one more big moment. Parents and families, this is going to be the photo op. So get your cameras ready. This is the time-honored tradition known as the cap toss. You've been waiting years for this. Your parents may never have imagined you'd actually make it. This is the big moment. So let's get it right. The key to a successful hat toss is synchronization, attitude, and altitude. Now you're the third convocation today, and I'd like your hats to go the highest. Right. Will the graduates please rise? And preparing for the toss, remove your hats, hold on to them. No tossing yet. In a moment, I am going to wish you one final congratulation on behalf of the University of British Columbia. And when I do that, and I say the word Columbia, you are going to all throw your hats in the air at that same magic moment. Parents, that word Columbia is your cue to start snapping. Is everyone ready? Yay! Okay. Mr. Chancellor, President Ono, dignitaries, family, friends, please join me one more time in congratulating the fantastic 2018 graduates of the University of British Columbia.